Hey everybody, Brad here, and welcome to Deep Dive. We're going to be tackling a question today that's been on a lot of minds. Is AI about to replace mid-level engineer jobs?
Right, it's a big question.
It is a big question, and to help us sift through all of the information, we've got our expert, Julia.
Hey everybody, excited to be here. And yeah, we got some really interesting sources from our listener who's been thinking about this. We've got lively Hacker News discussions, we've got statements from Zuckerberg himself, even some YouTube analysis from the Jurid and Stefan Mischuk.
Oh, and don't forget that article from Meta about their open source AI plans, right?
Yes.
Okay, so here's where it gets interesting. On one hand, Zuck is saying that AI could soon do the work of those mid-level engineers.
Mm-hmm.
But then we've got the World Economic Forum predicting huge growth in the software developer jobs.
Yeah, so how do we square these seemingly opposite ideas?
Yeah, right. What gives?
Yeah, I think that tension between fear and opportunity kind of captures the whole AI conversation right now, right? To understand Zuck's perspective, though, we need to look at both what he said in that Business Insider article.
Okay.
And how Stefan Mischuk breaks it down in his video. Basically, Zuck thinks that by 2025, AI at Meta will be able to handle tasks currently done by mid-level engineers.
And he was really specific. I thought it was interesting that he mentioned that it's expensive right now, so that kind of hints that as the tech gets cheaper, it becomes more tempting to just replace people.
Right.
But some of the folks on Hacker News, they weren't buying it. They were wondering, is he just trying to boost Meta's stock price? Or is he overhyping what AI can actually, do?
Yeah, and I think that skepticism is understandable. Remember all the hype around the metaverse.
Oh, right.
Well, Zuckerberg was a big driver of that, and it hasn't exactly revolutionized our lives yet.
Right.
But there's another layer here. That Meta article about open source AI suggests they might be playing a longer game. Zuckerberg talks about their commitment to open source development, which kind of implies their motives go beyond just cutting costs and, maximizing profits in the short term.
Okay, so maybe there's more to it than just Zuck trying to, automate everyone out of a job.
Right, hopefully.
But while we're trying to figure out Meta's strategy, AI development is moving really fast. The Jurid YouTube channel, they dove into some of the latest coding benchmarks.
Yeah.
And the progress is kind of mind-blowing. They talk about models going from around 7% proficiency to almost 70% on these coding benchmarks in just a year. We're talking about AI like Code Story, and this one called O3, scoring really high.
Yeah, it's definitely impressive, especially the speed of improvement. But here's the thing, those benchmarks, while helpful, don't capture the full picture of what software engineers do. Sure, AI might be able to churn out lines of code, but can it really solve complex problems? Think creatively about system design.
Right.
And navigate, the human side of collaborating on a project.
Right, there's more to it than just coding.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this brings us back to that prediction from the World Economic Forum.
Right.
How can they forecast such a significant growth in software developer jobs when AI is getting so good at coding?
Yeah, that's where the Jevons paradox comes in.
Okay.
And this is a crucial point, I think, for our listener to understand. As technology makes something more efficient and cheaper, demand often increases, which can actually lead to more jobs, not fewer.
Interesting.
So think about it this way. If AI can build the basic framework of an application quickly and affordably, companies might suddenly have the budget to tackle projects that were previously out of reach.
Oh, okay.
That means more projects, more complexity, more demand for skilled developers to manage it all.
So instead of taking our jobs, AI might actually create more opportunities.
Potentially, yeah.
That's really interesting. The AIGI even mentioned having to bring in human developers to deal with the really tricky situations that AI couldn't handle. And then there's that Apple job posting that was asking for developers with experience in AI agent frameworks. What's that about?
That job posting is a sign of things to come, I think. It hints at a future where software development is less about writing every line of code yourself.
Okay.
And more about understanding how to leverage AI agents, how to optimize their performance, and how to ensure they're meeting the specific needs of a project. It's a whole new level of development.
So instead of just coding, we'll be like AI conductors leading the orchestra.
Exactly.
Interesting.
And that requires a whole different skill set, understanding AI workflows, recognizing its limitations, and knowing when to step in with that, uniquely human ingenuity.
So it sounds like this whole AI thing, it's a lot more nuanced than just robots taking our jobs.
Yeah.
It's almost like we're going into this like collaborative era, right?
Right.
But what does that actually look like day to day? Are we going to be pairing up with AI on every task, or is it more about using it for specific things?
I think it's likely going to be a combination of both. Think of those coding benchmarks that we talked about. The Ajrid pointed out that while AI excels at certain tasks, like generating those basic code structures, it still struggles with things like debugging complex systems or coming up with really creative solutions to like unexpected problems.
Right.
That's where human expertise becomes even more valuable.
So we're still going to be needed for those like tricky edge cases and for kind of like understanding the bigger picture.
Exactly.
But if AI is handling more of the routine coding, wouldn't that kind of free us up to focus on the more like higher level stuff?
Exactly. We could potentially spend more time on things like system design, user experience, and finding innovative solutions to those complex problems. It's about working smarter, not harder.
And that could lead to some pretty incredible advancements, right? The Ajrid even speculated that AI could become like a software 3D printer, allowing us to create highly customized applications, but much faster and cheaper than we can today.
It's a fascinating idea, isn't it? Imagine a world where you could describe your vision for an app to an AI, and it could generate like a functional prototype in a fraction of the time it takes now.
Yeah.
That would open up so many possibilities, especially for like small businesses and individuals who might not have the resources to develop custom software otherwise.
Yeah, that would be amazing. But even if the AI can build a basic structure, wouldn't we still need those developers to refine it? Make sure it meets the needs of the users and, make sure it's secure and reliable.
Absolutely. The role of the developer would shift from writing every single line of code to more of an architect or, conductor role, like we were saying before.
Right.
We'd be responsible for guiding the AI, refining its output, and ensuring that the final product aligns with the overall vision. It's about leveraging the strengths of both humans and AI.
So it's not a question of AI replacing humans. It's more about like humans and AI working together to achieve greater things. But let's be real, this kind of AI-powered development, it would require a whole new set of skills, right?
It certainly would, and this is something, you, the listener, should be thinking about. As AI takes on more of those routine coding tasks, the skills that will be most in demand are those that AI struggles with. Creative problem solving, strategic thinking, and the ability to manage and optimize these complex AI systems.
So we need to become experts in working with AI.
Yes.
Not just coding ourselves. What would that even look like in practice?
Well, for starters, it means understanding how AI models work, how to train and fine-tune them, and how to integrate them effectively into that development process. It's about understanding the limitations of AI and knowing when to step in with that, human touch.
So it sounds like we're going to need to become fluent in the language of AI, not just the language of code.
Yeah.
And it seems like with these advancements happening so fast, the learning curve is just getting steeper and steeper. Where can developers even begin to get up to speed on all of this?
Well, the good news is that there are already a ton of resources available. Online courses, tutorials, and even open source AI coding platforms are popping up everywhere.
Yeah.
And as the technology continues to evolve, we can expect even more resources to become available.
Okay.
The key is to stay curious, embrace the challenge, and never stop learning.
So it's not about fearing the future, but it's about being prepared for it.
Exactly.
And this shift towards AI-powered development, it's not just about making our jobs easier. It has the potential to revolutionize the entire software industry, right?
It absolutely does. Imagine a world where every business, no matter how small, could afford custom-built software tailored to their specific needs. Imagine personalized educational apps that adapt to each student's learning style, or healthcare apps that analyze your individual health data and provide personalized recommendations.
Wow, that's incredible. It sounds like AI could kind of democratize access to software, make it available to a much wider range of people and organizations.
Exactly. It's a really exciting time to be in this field. But I think with all this potential comes responsibility. We need to be mindful of the ethical implications, ensure these AI systems are creating software that's fair and unbiased, and of course, protect user privacy.
Right, we can't just blindly trust the AI to do the right thing.
Right.
We need to be the ones setting the standards, ensuring these powerful tools are used for good. But beyond the ethics, there's also the question of what this means for, the workforce in general. If AI takes on more of the routine coding, what happens to the developers who specialize in those tasks?
It's a valid concern. And while it's impossible to predict the future with certainty, history suggests that these technological advancements often lead to the creation of new jobs and industries. Those who can adapt, learn new skills, and embrace the possibilities of AI will be the ones who thrive in this new landscape.
So it's not about being replaced by AI.
Right.
It's about evolving alongside it.
Exactly.
Learning to work in tandem, each playing to our strengths. But with all this talk about AI, I'm curious about the human element of software development, the creativity, the passion, the joy of, building something from scratch. What happens to all that?
That's a great point, and it's something we should never lose sight of. AI can be a really powerful tool, but it's still just a tool, right? The real magic happens when that human ingenuity and creativity are combined with the power of AI.
So we're not just talking about becoming, AI whisperers. We're talking about becoming AI artists.
Exactly.
Using this technology as like a brush to paint even grander and more innovative software landscapes.
Exactly. AI can handle the heavy lifting, the repetitive tasks, freeing up human developers to focus on, like we were saying, the big picture thinking, the innovation, the user experience. It's about pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Okay, so we've talked about the potential of AI to kind of revolutionize software development, the ethical considerations, the impact on the workforce. But we haven't really touched on how developers themselves are reacting to all of this. I imagine there's a mix of excitement and anxiety out there.
There definitely is. Some developers are understandably concerned about the potential for job displacement.
Yeah.
While others are embracing the possibilities, they see AI as a way to, boost their productivity and creativity. And then there are those who are taking a wait-and-see approach.
Yeah.
Just observing how the technology develops before making any judgments.
So it's a mixed bag, just like with any major technological disruption. But one thing's for sure. This is happening, and it's happening fast. So what can developers do to prepare themselves for this AI-powered future?
Well, first and foremost, stay informed. Read articles, attend conferences, experiment with AI coding tools. The more you understand the technology, the better equipped you'll be to adapt and thrive in this new environment.
Knowledge is power, right? But beyond staying informed, are there specific skills or areas of knowledge that developers should be focusing on?
Well, as we discussed earlier, the role of the software developer is likely to evolve from primarily writing code to more of like an AI orchestrator or manager. So developing skills related to AI workflows, agent-based systems, and the ability to guide and refine that AI-generated code will be crucial.
It's like learning a whole new language, the language of AI. But is there any way for developers to kind of get a head start on this?
Absolutely. There are already numerous resources available, like those online courses and tutorials, and even open source AI coding platforms we were talking about. And as the technology continues to evolve, we can expect even more resources to become available.
So it's all about embracing the change, staying ahead of the curve, and constantly like learning and adapting. This isn't just about surviving.
Right.
It's about thriving in this like new era of software development.
Exactly. The software development landscape is evolving rapidly, and those who are willing to embrace the challenge and continuously learn and grow will be the ones who shape the future of this, exciting field.
It's exciting and a little bit daunting all at the same time.
Yeah.
We've covered so much ground today, but I feel like we've only just scratched the surface of this whole AI thing. There's so much more to explore, and we're going to need all the brain power we can get to navigate this new landscape.
It's true. We're just at the beginning of this AI revolution, and the possibilities are truly mind-boggling. But I think it's important to remember that AI is ultimately a tool, and like any tool, it can be used for good or for ill. It's up to us as a society to guide the development and deployment of AI in a way that benefits all of humanity.
Well said. And I think that's a perfect note to transition to our final thoughts for today. But before we do that, I want to remind all of you listening that we love diving deep into these complex topics, and we release new episodes every week. If you're enjoying this deep dive, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all our latest explorations.
It is, yeah. It's a journey, right?
Yeah.
Filled with both challenges and opportunities.
Absolutely. That's what makes it so fascinating. So to wrap up our deep dive today, I want to leave you, our listener, with one final thought. If AI can truly handle those, more routine aspects of coding, what does that mean for the future of like human creativity and software development? Will this like unleash a whole new wave of innovation, or will we risk losing something essential in the process?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Like, if AI becomes this reliable coding workhorse, will it free us up to reach new heights of creativity, allowing us to focus on those really elegant solutions, the user-centric designs? Or will we become so reliant on AI that we kind of lose that hands-on intuition, that deep understanding of how software works at its core?
Will we be so busy conducting the AI orchestra that we forget how to play the individual instruments?
I love that analogy. It really highlights the importance of, staying connected to the fundamentals even as we embrace these powerful new tools. It's about striking that balance, leveraging the strengths of both AI and human ingenuity.
So this is a call to action for all you developers out there, right? Don't let the AI do all the thinking. Stay curious, keep experimenting, and never lose sight of that passion for crafting, elegant and innovative software.
Well said. The future of software development is in our hands. Let's make it a future where human creativity and AI ingenuity work together to create a better world.
That is a fantastic note to end on. Thanks again for guiding us through this complex and fascinating topic.
My pleasure. Always a joy to explore these ideas with our listeners.
And to all of you listening, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI and software development. We hope you found it insightful and thought-provoking. If you did, please do us a favor and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the topics that matter most. Until next time.